She thought she knew everything about the man she was about to marry. Every detail of his life had seemed perfectly ordinary, until a single, carefully folded dress, hidden in the back of his closet, shattered her world. What she found there would make her question every promise, every whispered I love you, and every future they had planned together. Hello, my friends. I am Olivia, and this is Olivia's Love Stories. I hope you enjoyed this story. I had always imagined my engagement would feel like a dream, like those quiet mornings when sunlight spills over a kitchen table, coffee steaming between our hands, laughter filling the room. And for months, that was exactly how it had felt with Adam. He was thoughtful, steady, and endlessly patient with my quirks. I often caught myself marveling at how someone so grounded could love someone as restless as me. That love had been my anchor. I had spent weeks planning our wedding. Floral arrangements, seating charts, even the color of the napkins. I wanted it all perfect, because in my heart, I knew this day would be one of the happiest of my life. Yet, beneath that excitement, there was a nagging little voice, always whispering, "Do I really know him?" I would push it aside, telling myself I was being silly. Adam had never given me a reason to doubt him, until that afternoon. It started like any other Saturday. I was doing a last-minute check on the apartment before our families came over to celebrate our engagement. Adam was out running errands, leaving me to tidy the chaos I always created in our shared space. As I opened his closet to hang up a new coat, I noticed something odd. A small, neatly folded bundle hidden behind a row of shirts. My curiosity nudged me forward. I pulled it out. At first, I thought it was one of those old Halloween costumes he sometimes joked about keeping just in case. But the fabric shimmered under the sunlight, delicate and pristine. My fingers trembled as I unfolded it, and my breath caught in my throat. It was a wedding dress. Not mine. Not anything I had ever seen before. A dress that had clearly been chosen with care, its silk smooth and glinting like water under moonlight. I froze, staring at it, trying to reconcile the man I knew with the secret this dress implied. My mind raced, heart hammering, as though it knew the truth before I did. Questions collided inside me. Who was this for? Why was it hidden? And most importantly, was it meant for someone else? A cold shiver ran down my spine, and suddenly our entire future, the wedding I had meticulously planned, the life we had dreamed of together, felt fragile, like it could shatter with a single step. I heard the faint click of keys in the lock. Adam was home, and as I held the dress in my hands, my voice caught in my throat. I had to confront him. But could I? Could I even bear the answer? Before I could decide, the closet door creaked behind me. Adam stepped into the room, a casual smile on his face, completely unaware of the storm brewing behind my eyes. "Hey, I didn't think you'd be tidying this early," he said, setting his keys down on the counter. The sunlight from the window glinted off his hair, and for a moment, I almost convinced myself that everything was fine. Almost. But then, my gaze dropped to the dress in my hands. The silk shimmered accusingly in the light, and my fingers tightened around it. I could feel my chest tightening, each breath shorter than the last. "Adam, what is this?" I asked, my voice barely more than a whisper, though the tension in it made him freeze. His smile faltered, and I saw the hesitation in his eyes, the first crack in the calm, collected man I thought I knew. He glanced at the dress, then back at me. "Olivia, I can explain," he said, his voice low, measured, but there was an uncharacteristic edge to it. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, to unravel the truth right then and there. But all that came out was a shaky, "Explain what?" My heart pounded so loud I could hear it in my ears, drowning out everything else. Adam took a slow step closer, hands slightly raised as if to show he meant no harm. That dress, it's not what you think, he said. His eyes searched mine, desperate for me to trust him, even as doubt clawed at every fiber of my being. It's, it's for someone, but not like you're imagining. My mind spun. Someone else? But why hide it? Why not tell me? Why? I stopped myself. I had to hear him out, though each second stretched like a lifetime. He sighed and ran a hand through his hair, a gesture I had seen only when he was anxious about something important. Years ago, before we met, I promised someone I'd keep a part of her memory alive. This dress, it belonged to her. She she passed away, and I kept it because she was like family to me. I didn't want to tell anyone, not even you, because I thought it would be too complicated, too painful to explain. My mind tried to process the words, the flood of emotions crashing over me. Relief? Confusion? Anger? Betrayal? They all tangled into a knot in my stomach. Family? Like her sister? Or I couldn't finish the question. Adam shook his head. No, she was my first love. Before I knew what love really was. Before I met you. I loved her. But she didn't make it. And I promised her I'd never forget her, that I'd honor her somehow. That dress is my way of keeping that promise. I wanted to recoil, to step away from him, yet I felt rooted to the spot, caught between understanding and heartbreak. The room seemed smaller somehow, every shadow stretching, every corner filled with memories I didn't know existed. Then he reached out, gently touching my hand, and his voice softened. I'm telling you now because I love you, Olivia. Not to hide, not to betray you. I didn't know how to tell you without hurting you. And in that moment, standing there with my heart clinging to pieces of truth and the weight of his secret, I realized something terrifying. The man I thought I knew held a past that could either break us or deepen us forever. I took a shaky breath, staring into his eyes, as the dress slipped from my fingers and pooled on the floor between us, and I had to make a choice, one that could change everything. I sank onto the edge of the bed, my fingers fumbling with the hem of the dress, as if holding it could somehow make sense of the chaos inside me. Adam knelt beside me, hesitant, like he was stepping through a minefield of my emotions. Olivia, please, he said softly. I never wanted to lie to you. I didn't know how to tell you without losing you. I looked up at him, my eyes stinging, my chest heavy with the weight of everything I had believed and everything I was realizing. Adam, you could have told me. I would have understood. My voice caught in my throat, tears welling despite my effort to stay composed. Why hide it? Why now? He swallowed hard, his own eyes glistening with unshed tears. Because I needed to be sure I was ready to love you fully, without the shadow of my past haunting us. That dress, that promise to her, it was my way of making peace with what happened before you. And now I want you to know everything, because I can't love you properly if I'm hiding anything. His words, so filled with raw honesty, pierced the fear and anger in my heart. And yet, the uncertainty lingered. Could I trust him fully, knowing he carried such a deep, unspoken part of his life? Could love survive the ghost of someone else's memory? For a long moment, we sat in silence. The sunlight slanted through the blinds, illuminating the dress on the floor, and in that quiet, I felt the enormity of what had just unfolded. This wasn't just a secret. It was a life lived in parallel, a chapter of him I had never known. And now it was here, demanding to be acknowledged. Finally, I reached out, brushing my hand against his. I need to understand more, I whispered. I need to know her story, to know why this matters so much. Adam nodded, a mixture of relief and apprehension crossing his face. Her name was Claire. We met when I was younger, and I made mistakes. I loved her, but I wasn't ready to be the person she needed. And then she got sick, and everything ended before I could ever fix it. He paused, voice breaking. Keeping the dress, it was the only way I felt I could honor her without forgetting her. But you're my present. You're my future. And I don't want you to feel like you're competing with someone who isn't here anymore. The weight of his words settled over me, a mixture of grief and compassion intertwining. I could feel the love behind his secret, the guilt, the devotion, all of it tangled with the rawness of loss. And as much as my mind screamed caution, my heart, it softened. Slowly, I reached for the dress again, lifting it in my hands. The silk felt impossibly smooth, almost alive with memory. "It's beautiful," I said quietly, "but it's not ours. And yet, I understand why you held on to it. I think I can forgive that part of you, Adam. I want to." His hand found mine, and for the first time since discovering the dress, I felt the steady pulse of trust threading through the tension. But even as relief began to warm the room, a shadow lingered. Because secrets, even when explained, have a way of echoing. And I realized, just as my fingers brushed the delicate fabric, that this revelation was only the beginning. Outside, a sudden knock at the door jolted us both. I froze, the sound slicing through the fragile calm, and Adam's expression hardened slightly, protective and wary. Whoever it was, wasn't just another guest. And in that instant, I sensed that the world we thought we understood, the perfect life we had planned, was about to shift again, in ways I could never have imagined. The knock at the door echoed again, sharper this time, and Adam's hand gripped mine instinctively. "Stay here," he said quietly, his jaw tight. I watched him move toward the door, the weight of tension in his steps. My chest pounded, not just from fear, but from the overwhelming realization that this moment would define everything. Adam opened the door slowly. I couldn't see who it was at first, but the voice that followed made my stomach twist. "Adam, I need to talk to you," it said, hesitant yet urgent. My heart sank. It was someone from his past, the very past that the dress belonged to, the past I had only just begun to understand. He stepped aside, motioning for the person to enter. And then I saw her, Claire's younger sister, Emma, her eyes wide, brimming with emotion. She carried a small envelope in her hands, trembling slightly. "I'm sorry to come here unannounced," she said, looking between us. "I didn't know who else to reach out to." Adam exhaled slowly, a mixture of relief and apprehension. "Emma, it's okay. What is it?" She handed him the envelope, and as he opened it, I saw his face change. Shock, sorrow, and finally a soft, almost imperceptible smile. Inside were letters and photographs from Claire, memories he hadn't seen in years, reminders of promises kept and moments cherished. I watched as Adam sank to his knees, holding the letters close, tears tracing down his face. And in that moment, I understood fully. The dress, the secrecy, the careful guarding of a past love, it wasn't a betrayal. It was devotion. It was honor. It was the man I had fallen in love with, complicated and imperfect, but unshakably true to the people he cared about. I stepped forward, gently placing my hand on his shoulder. "Adam," I whispered, You don't have to carry all of this alone anymore." He looked up, his eyes meeting mine, and for the first time since the dress had appeared, there was a calm in his gaze, a shared understanding between us. We spent the rest of the afternoon together, reading the letters, sharing memories, and letting the weight of the secret finally lift. Adam spoke openly about his grief, his love for Claire, and the fear that he might lose me if I couldn't accept that part of his life. And I listened, my heart swelling with compassion and love, knowing that every hidden corner of his past had led us here, to honesty, to trust, to each other. By the time the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the room in golden hues, I realized something profound. Love isn't just about shared moments of joy. It's about holding space for the scars, the memories, and the truths that make us who we are. Adam's secret dress had tested us, but it had also revealed the depth of his heart. That night, as we held each other close, I whispered softly, "I love you, Adam. Every part of you, the past, the present, and the future will build together." And he held me tighter, as if making a silent vow that no secret, no memory, and no obstacle could ever come between us again. In the quiet of our apartment, surrounded by the echoes of a love that had been tested and proven, I understood something essential. Some secrets aren't meant to divide. They're meant to deepen the bond between two people who choose to trust, forgive, and love fully. And in that understanding, I found peace.